So once again, thank you everyone. Thank you for being a member of Carrie's initiative. So latest 8:45. So it is 7:48 now. So by 8:45 we should be rounding up. So please keep me accountable. So I wanted to start by saying this. First of all, it is said that at the beginning we form our habits, and at the end our habits form us. Say that again. At the beginning, you form a habit, but at the end of the day, it is your habit that actually now begins to form who you become. And most people don't know this. We are all products of habits. We are all addicts. Addiction is not a bad word, okay? Addiction is not a bad thing. Unless you are addicted to something that is hurting you, that is when addiction becomes a very terrible thing. But we are all addicts. I'm addicted to something. I'm addicted to God. I'm addicted to learning. I'm addicted to knowledge. I'm addicted to growth. Those are my cravings. Those are my addictions. The same way in the book you hear all over the place, craving your cravings, your cravings. I crave knowledge. That's the same way I tell people, and that's just sincere. My wife can testify to this. Every single day that passes, there's no single day I don't wake up. Between first 2 hours I wake up, I must listen to something motivational, something inspirational. Once I'm done praying, that's the next thing on my routine. Every single day. And I've done this same routine for almost 10 years now. 9 years and about 6 months. 9 years and about 6 months. That is my normal daily routine. That's a habit for me. It's a habit that I can't even stop now, even if I don't want to. Most times when I'm brushing and for any reason there's no motivational, inspirational playing in my ear, it feels weird. Like it feels totally weird. Sometimes I'll have to enter the bathroom to brush my teeth and I forget that okay, I've not put on something, I'm not playing something. It just feels weird. Brushing it's not satisfying. Some of these things, of course, will get to the point where, because you talked about making habits satisfying and all of that, we'll come to all of that, but it has become a habit for me. So for you, if you look through your daily routine, there is something that's actually a habit for you, whether you like it or not. We're all addicted to something. For some of you, it might be you wake up, first thing you do, you reach out to your phone and start pressing your phone. It's an addiction, whether you know it or not. For some of you, once you maybe you want to step out for the day, there's a particular kind of shoe you like wearing. You have like 10 different shoes, but that particular shoe is a you just wear that particular shoe. For some, it's just that particular singlet. You have like 10 other singlets, but that particular one is the challenge. So somehow you just find out that there are habits that you have in your life unknown to you that are shaping both the way you think, the way you live, the way you behave ultimately. Okay, so we are all product of habits. Okay, and there's something I would like. Okay, wait, I think I'll just leave this. Let me mark this here. So I'll share this at the end. I wanted to say something, but let me just leave it to the end. Okay, so one thing I really like about this book is the fact that he really took the time to really break it down. I heard about this book, I think maybe 4 or 5 years ago, maybe 3 years, I don't know, I can't remember, maybe 3-4 years ago, and I didn't read the book, but I saw the review on YouTube. Most times when I hear about books, I just go to YouTube. If I don't have the time to read all the book, I just go to YouTube, do a review of it, watch like 3-4 video reviews of it, and I already have idea of what the book is talking about. So like I've done reviews of this book online even before I finally decided to recommend it to us and then finally even read it myself. I've had a lot of reviews about it, watched a lot of videos, and it has really blessed me. This is really an amazing book, I tell you that. Every single line for me in this book is actually marked. Every single page there's something, there's a pen there, because I like marking something when I'm reading books, so to make it easy for me to go back and get the PowerPoint if I want to review it again, if I want to read it over again. Okay, so this is really amazing. If you're somebody who is struggling with a bad habit, this is the book for you. If you're somebody who is struggling to develop good habits, because it's possible that you don't have bad habits, but you still don't have good habits. The absence of bad habits in your life does not mean the automatic availability of good habits in your life. It's possible that you don't have bad habits, you're not struggling with any evil habits, but however, you still don't have good habits. The correct habits you have are not taking you forward. In fact, they are leaving you. They have kept you the same way where you are over the years. And for some people unknown to them, when you look at their life 10 years, progression. If you look at your life like 5 years backward, you find out that in as much as you wake up every day, go to work, do everything you're doing, you just unconsciously you just know that you are still you're still in the same place you were like 10 years ago. You are still there, and some of those things unknown to us are product of habits, because we keep repeating the same pattern. You keep repeating the same pattern of behavior every single day, and you don't even know. Nobody tells you this, but those pattern of actions you take every day are what results in the outcome of the kind of life you are living today. So if you look at your life today and you're not feeling satisfied, something is wrong. You feel that, you just know that something is off. One thing with human beings is that we are because we are spirit beings. Even if you are not connected to any form of deity, whether it is God, whether you are Islam, whatever religion you are. Sorry about that. Let me put my phone on silent. So whether you like it or not, somehow your spirit can actually pick some form of abnormalities in the spirit, or your soul can just pick some form of unconscious things happening around you. You just know that I'm not supposed to be here. I know some of you can relate with this thing. Maybe you are at a level where you can't place where or how, but you just know I'm not supposed to be here. I'm supposed to be doing more than this. I'm supposed to have passed this level. You understand? So these are notions that you can have, whether you're a spiritual person, whether you're prayerful or not. Everyone should have this kind of notions, because we're all spirit beings, and somehow our soul is active. Even if you're sleeping. That's why sometimes if you're having situations in your life where things are not going on wrong, most of the dreams you have during those periods are dreams that you just know that something is either you're fighting in that dream, you're going through something, you're just passing one form of challenge in the dream, because exactly what is happening in your natural life. Okay, so somehow unconsciously our spirit and our soul is actually alive to some of these things. So some people because of what you know about the fact that you're not supposed to be where you are, it behooves you to actually begin to build habits that will take you to the next level. So that's why this book is really, really an excellent. I love the way he just broke everything down. Really an amazing book. I really wish I came across this book like many years ago, when I really had a lot of bad habits I needed to just break free from and move to another level. But however, I'm really glad I'm still coming across it. Now it's helping me build like much more better habits for myself. Some of the things he mentioned in the book are things I'm actually practicing unconsciously already. So as you're reviewing the book, I'll tell you some of the ways I've applied this in my life, and probably you'll tell me the ways that you are also applying the principles in this book in your own life. Okay, so that's it. If you're getting any value tonight, just type on the chat value. Let me be sure that we are getting value before we dive right in. If you're getting any form of value, type on the chat. So I don't know why our secretary forgot to pray before we started. So let's just take a short prayer. Father, we thank you for tonight. Thank you for your grace. Thank you for your presence. We ask for your understanding. We ask the eyes of understanding be light, and help us to receive, help us to learn, help us to build new habits. Let the grace to break old habits, bad habits, and evil habits in our life be released upon us, and the grace to build new habits that will take us to the next level. Thank you for your presence. In Jesus' name. Amen. Amen. So let's move ahead. Okay, so in the beginning of the book, he talked about why tiny changes make really a big difference. And there was an analogy he gave. He said that when you improve yourself 1% every single day, like you strive, you don't try to do anything overboard, you just do 1%, you just strive to take 1% every single day, that by the end of the whole year you would have improved yourself 365%. That means you would be like 4 times better than you were at the beginning of the year. And it was mind-blowing for me, like tiny changes like that. And somewhere at the end, towards the middle of the book, he gave an analogy of, for instance, if I give you 1 coin, you wouldn't say that you're a rich man, right? If I just give you $1, let's just use the $1, you would not say you're a rich man. $1 doesn't change your life, right? $1, 750 naira, I mean, just one sardine in Nigeria is 750 naira. So $1, $1 one sardine. I mean, it doesn't change your life, right? But if I give you $2, man, okay, well, you're coming up. Then I give you $10, then I add 11, 12, 13, 14, $20, $21, $30, 31, 32, 33 to $50, $51 to $100. Okay, now you're at least, it's something, it's becoming something, right? Then I give you another $1 again, that's $101, $102. At some point now you say, okay, you now have $500. Wow, $500. You know what $500 is? $500 now is currently about almost 400,000. Almost 400,000. I mean $500. Almost $400. Because $200 now is 150,000. Then $400 is 300,000. Okay, like 375,000. That's $500, right? $500. So I mean, at some point, we started from $1. Remember, so at some point from 500, you can count 100. $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $10,000, $20,000, $100,000. But we all started from $1. So imagine if at some point you will be able to say that, okay, at some point it was that extra $1 that you cannot actually say that it was one particular dollar that changed your life, that made you a millionaire in dollars. You understand? I think somebody's mic is unmuted. So if your mic is unmuted, please mute your mic, okay? So you cannot actually say that there is one particular dollar that made you wealthy, okay? It's the cumulative progression of $1, $1, $1, $1, $1 that finally came to the point where you are now a millionaire in dollars. Okay, so it was really enlightening for me. So I want to know. I'll just take just one person for each chapter so that we don't take much time. Okay, so I want to pick one person at random. I believe every one of us here, but okay, well, I'll give you the opportunity if you just want to talk. You can raise your hand or indicate on the chat something. So I'll give you opportunity. If you want to say something concerning the fundamental part of this book where he talked about the tiny changes, what I just explained, if there was any way it inspired you, you learned something from it, you applied something from it, or you want to add to what I've already said, please raise your hand. Let me give you the opportunity before we move into chapter 1. Mute your mic. Okay, muted. So someone please raise your hand, or if you can type on the chat, so we give you the opportunity to just share on how tiny differences like this has relatively helped your life or advance your life in any way, in any form. Anyone? Okay, someone is raising. Is this his hand? Okay, Chukudi. So please, okay, Chukudi Nweke, please, secretary, please unmute her. Let her say something. You unmute him. Sorry. Yeah. Good evening. Yeah. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. I mean, thank you so much for your for sharing with us your own experience during the book. Thank you so much. So personally, it has really been it I would say, I would sincerely say it's actually a reminder, for me. Like I said, some of the things he said in the book are some things I've been practicing unconsciously. I didn't know they were actually like practical laws in anybody's book or anything like that. So I've always been a fan of at least do something. Most times, whenever I want to like maybe build, a long-term habit or maybe start doing something I was not doing before, first thing I like to do is just start taking the small steps. Divide what I want to do into like small steps. Then just do like 1% of it every single day. Just do it in little bits every day. You might not be able to, when you look at the whole process of everything you want to do, you might not be able to do it. It might just feel very overwhelming. But by the time you divide it, into small steps and begin to do each one every day, by the time you now look back, you just find out that wow, I mean, I'm actually, I'm actually done with this, or I'm actually doing this thing that at some point looked like a very Herculean task for me. You understand? So let's move ahead. One of the things he also said in this book, he talked about that ultimately it is your commitment to the process that will determine your progress. He was trying to say that every habit is sustained on the foundation of the systems you put in place to sustain it. And I began to look inward in my life. Some of the old habits that I used to have before were all built on systems. Unconsciously to me, I built systems that were sustaining the habit by itself. You understand? And some of the good habits that I have unconsciously too, I had systems that were sustaining them, by themselves, and I didn't know those were systems. And because of my commitment to the system, the habit was, on its own, just had life of its own. You understand? Because when you build a system that supports a particular habit, the habit is like it's on autopilot on its own. The habit just keeps rolling. The habit just keeps rolling itself, just keep rolling itself like that. Now, for instance, unlike he talked about starting gym and working out and all of that. Let me share my own story with you. Okay, last like 3, I don't know, I can't remember, maybe about 4 months ago or so, I decided I was going to start working out and all of that. So I paid, first things first, I went to the particular gym I wanted to go, very close to my place. So I paid for the whole month, at least that way, because you can do daily, you can be paying as every day as you come. I was like, no need, let me commit myself. So I paid for the whole month. I went for the first day, went for the second day, went for the third day. In fact, at some point I was doing morning and evening. I'll go in the morning, go in the evening and all of that. So at some point, because there was no system around, that particular routine, it just came to an abrupt end. Like I didn't even exhaust the full month. I didn't even go there, for the home. I went about like 2 weeks, and everything shut down. Like since then till now, I'm not going to that gym again. So, and I began to evaluate what caused it. Why did I stop? And I found out it was because there was no system around the system, in the sense that I didn't build my routine to accommodate the fact that I'll be free in the morning and I'll be free in the evening. There was no system that supported that routine in my life, because I had other things that I was doing in the morning, I had to do during the morning, and I had other things I had to do during the evening. So the system, the routine I had, my life routine, did not support the fact that there's an opening in the morning to go for the gym, and there's a free chance for me to go in the morning and the evening. So that was the reason why that habit like totally died. And I can tell you, for the first 1 week, I felt like nothing will ever make me to stop going to this gym again, because it felt good. Once you go, you sweat, maybe do some small videos, just feel yourself, make yourself feel like you're doing something reasonable, with your life. But because there was no system around my life to support that particular habit, it just died like that. Okay, so whatever you do, make sure you build systems that support and self-sustain your habit. Okay, he said something also that said, you do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your system. So wherever your systems are, whatever systems you put in place, your habits will always fall to meet that level. Okay, so let's go ahead. Let's move to chapter 1. We are running with time. Okay, so chapter 1, he talked about, when he now started talking about fully how to make habits. Okay, he gave 4 laws of habits in the book, which is number 1, make it obvious. Number 2, make it attractive. Number 3, make it easy to do. Number 4, make it satisfying. I'll personally tell you how I've been able to apply these 4 laws in my life and sustain most of the good habits I have in my life currently. Okay, so let's talk about make it obvious. Now, this is the chapter where he broke like a lot of things down. I don't think we can even finish most of the things he even talks here about making it obvious. But however, the most important thing I can say he talked about here is the environment, how to adjust your environment to support your habit. And it made a lot of sense to me. It really made a lot of sense to me. Now, a lot of the things I do in my life personally, unconsciously, are because of the environment I've put in place to support my daily routine. For instance, at the side of my bed, I have books there. I have my Bible there. It is very obvious when I wake up in the morning to see that there's a book here, and I'm conscious of the fact that this book will not read itself. I have to read it. You understand? It's an environment. And just in front of my mirror, I have my vision board on top of it. I see it every day. It gives me a mindset of there is something to do. There is work for you to achieve these things you put on this board, these lofty visions on this board. You really need to work. So you just know you don't have to be lazy. It's environment. You understand? So I found out that unconsciously that my environment somehow just has been shaping the way I act, like naturally. You understand? And he was saying here there was an experiment they made, when in a particular hospital they found out that most of the patients, they don't like taking water or something like that. So they rearranged the hospital in such a way that they put like refrigerators or coolers or whatever they call it, in different corners of the hospital. And before you know it, the number of people that were taking water now increased because it was obvious. The cue to take that habit was very much obvious to everybody. So once you come, you see a fridge with water inside, and they put the water in a place where you could see it, and they put the soda in a place where you really couldn't see that much. I think it was like last 2 weeks I read this particular part of the book, but that was the experiment, right? And they found out that the people now started drinking more water because they put it in a position where they would be able to see it much more easily. I can remember when my friend, he wanted to start like a game room, something like that. That was the first advice I gave him. This was like sometime at the beginning of the year. I told him, if you're putting a game room here, get a cooler, like a fridge or whatever. I don't know what they call those, like those transparent ones that you can see the drinks that are inside. So then put drinks here, put Coke, Fanta, just anything to just chill, just in front of the fridge. And what happened? The sales of the drinks moved up because the more people are maybe coming there to play games and all of that, they're looking at the drinks is looking at them. It's giving them a cue You understand? Because in the book he talked about the cravings, the cue, the reward, the response, and the reward. So by the time they are seeing the water, somehow inside their mind, they can already imagine drinking the water or drinking the soft drink, how it will become refreshing in their mouth and all of that. So they are just giving them feedbacks that makes them to crave to do that particular thing. So that's the same thing, to build a new habit. You make it really obvious. Okay. So I'll give an opportunity for someone, if you're here and you maybe where you apply this in your life, or you want to add to what I've already said, please go ahead, raise your hand, or say something on the message, so we can reach you and get feedback from you, what you want to say. Anyone like that? So please raise your hand if you want to add something to what I've already said, or maybe want to share with us how this particular chapter of the book, blessed you, or you learned something that you are applying in your life. Okay. Okay, are you raising your hand, Ms. Gift? So if you are, please unmute your mic and go ahead. All right. Okay, wonderful. So thank you so much for really joining. I mean, this first law, was almost like the finisher for me. Like for instance, I started setting up a studio in my room, some days back, and just setting up like a lot of things here and there. And I began to find out that anytime I wake up in the morning and I see the setup I have, by the time I see the lights, see the stands, see every other equipment I've bought, like I'm motivated to do something. I'm not to just come, say something, shoot a video, just do anything at all, because the equipments to do so are like they are with me every single day. You understand? So I began to make that. And I began to find out that I was much more motivated to do more videos, create more content, do more things, become more productive, and all of that. So most times when you make things like cues for habits, because he talked about like habits have 4 stages: the cue part, the cues, the cravings, the response, then the reward. The cues are the idea, the little changes in the environment that gives you an idea that you need to perform this particular habit. Then craving is the part where you now begin to desire to perform that particular habit. And response is now when you're performing the habit. Now the reward is the part where you are now satisfied that, oh, it was really good doing this particular thing. Okay, so and by the time you put things or adjust your home, your house, your environment in such a way that you just keep getting those cues. Those cues just keep coming to you. It becomes more easy to feel like to perform that particular habit, because the cues just keep coming. The cues, you're seeing the cues all over the place. Where you're driving to work, it's on your car, it's on your phone, all those kind of things. So when you just fill your bedroom, your house with cues to perform a particular habit, it becomes much more easy to make that habit a lifestyle for you. Okay, so I can see here that someone, Tochukwu, you're raising your hand. Is that correct? If that's correct, please raise your hand and let's hear from you. Good evening. Okay, yeah, good. Now you're no longer. Yeah. Sachet water. That's an ancient method. Yeah. Needed to drink water. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Wow. Wow, this is really, I really love this. I really love what you just shared, because it reminded me too of, at some point I had to make that change too. For instance, I'm a person, I love like cold drinks, like anything cold that is a drink, I'm in. You understand? So most times I just buy different varieties of soft drinks. I just pack them inside my fridge. So most times I found out that because I always had them inside my fridge, I could drink like 3 bottles of Five Alive in a single day. So this was like from the beginning, in fact, from last year, throughout last year to the beginning of the year, the beginning of this year. So I had to advise myself, like, I'm killing myself. I mean, I was like, sincerely speaking, I would drink like, because I'll buy like different, I'll buy one, yogurt, maybe one carton, buy maybe Schweppes, maybe just different. Anytime I go, I just buy different brands. At every point, I mention I have like 4 different brands. So if I don't feel like taking Schweppes, I take Five Alive. If I don't feel like taking Five Alive, I take yogurt. If I don't feel like taking yogurt, I take something else. But there are like different varieties inside my fridge. And because those were the only thing I had inside, and I like anything cold, that was what I kept drinking. You understand? So at some point, I was even getting really addicted to Pure Heaven, because that was my, out of all the brands, that's like my best. So I just get like really addicted to it. You understand? So I had to really, I sat myself, so I told myself, like, if you continue like this, are you sure you will reach 40 or 50? So I told myself, I mean, this is the end. This is the end. From today it ends. I went to the market. That was when I now started buying bottled water in packs. So I'll just buy 1 pack of bottled water, and inside my fridge, those are the only, you won't see nothing else, only bottled water. So I was forced to get used to bottled water. And the most amazing thing about this change? Drinking bottled water, like cold bottled water, now became as refreshing as drinking like cold Pure Heaven, cold Schweppes or whatever. Like, the change was like this. I couldn't believe that. Sometimes I just look forward to drinking water because it's inside the fridge, it's cold, it's inside bottle. Even as we're talking, I have one here. You understand? So it now became much more refreshing to take it. So that's how to break old habits, and form new habits, right? So most times you need to just make like the new habits you want to form, make it very obvious, such that you can't miss it. You understand? You really can't miss it. Back then when I was on campus, I used to do this. I have a list on the back of my door. The list says like 7 things that I must do daily. You understand? So I think I have one of those. Maybe one of these days I'll just share some of those things, right? So I used to have a list on my door, like 7 checklists I must do daily, and I used to be very specific with it. I must pray 1 hour every day, read a book 30 minutes every day, write 1 or 2 motivational things. I would maybe just like 7. I can't remember all of them, but I had like 7 things I must do every day. So every time I come inside my room, maybe come back from lecture or close the door, my eye must see those things. You understand? And I will begin to tell myself, okay, how many have I done? Okay, I've prayed this number of hours today. I've read this number of books. I've written today. I've listened to a motivational tape today. And it became a habit. And these are the habits I have till date. These are habits of years, like habits of many, many years. That, it's almost impossible to stop now. You understand? So they shift me to think in a particular way, live a particular kind of lifestyle and all of that. Okay, so you really need to make your habits like really, 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 really obvious. Okay, so let's move to the second law. Second law, it says make it attractive. Now this is this is really, really another amazing part of this book that I really, really like. Okay, now what I learned from this particular part of the book is that for you to actually begin to make a habit, it has to really be attractive to you. The reason why people do bad habits or indulge in bad habits is because somehow inside their mind, the habit is attractive. Somehow inside, somewhere at the back of their mind, they have termed this particular habit to become attractive. The way somebody said one time that the way to know that you have broken a bad habit is that when you look at that bad habit, it now becomes disgusting. It becomes because oh my god, my phone is going into low battery. But can everyone hear me? Everyone can still hear me very well, right? Secretary, can you hear me? Okay, fantastic. Okay. Now the reason. All right. Thank you, everyone. Mute your mic. Thank you. So the reason most people indulge in bad habits like smoking, drinking, pornography, and all of that is because somewhere at the back of their mind, that particular habit is still attractive. Somewhere at the back of their mind, Now, I began to, at some point, at some point in life, I mean, this is experience that I think everybody here at some point in life, probably you might have, been a victim of it. Mine, at some point, I think was 100 level, even before I entered, before I became a Christian, became like really serious with God and all. Of course, we all did pornography. I think everybody here did, right? So at some point, where I was now came to the point where I told myself, like, I really need to stop this thing at this point now. And one of the things I used to do then, I now began to, some of this, I didn't know, even as a then self, I wasn't even, like I said, I wasn't born again. This is like over 10 years ago. I had to now start like reprogramming my mind to tell myself that this thing is wrong. I began to reprogram my mind to see the fact that there is really nothing palatable about this. In fact, there was a time I had to, I talked to one of my friends. We were discussing something of that nature, and no, don't worry about it. Don't worry, it's connected. So we're discussing about it, and I jokingly told him, that what is actually special about like a woman's body? What's special? Is it not the same skin that is here that is on those other parts? Like, and those things I was doing was trying to tell myself, like, there's nothing attractive about this. There's no reason to be addicted to this. There's no reason to keep myself in this. You understand? And I was consciously, every single day, I began to make that confession. In fact, I can remember, I just remembered something. I can remember one particular day where, I can't remember, I think it was one of those 100 level holidays. I had already begun to come out a little bit, but sometimes you just come, then all of a sudden you feel like everything is okay with you now. You are out of this evil habit, and before you know it, you're just back. So those was one of those days. So after I think I was watching a movie. So please, everyone, mute your mic, please. So Udo, your mic is unmuted. Please mute your mic. So one of those days, after I watched a particular movie, so it's like that, you know how these things happen, and I dived into pornography. So at some point, at the middle of the whole thing, like, I just caught myself, and I began to tell myself, like, it was quite a very funny experience, but this is how people's life changed, right? And it was life changing for me. At the middle of the whole thing, I started telling myself, listen, I'm not enjoying this thing. Like, there's nothing here. And as I was saying those things, like, the video was in front of my eye like this. I was looking at it and telling it that there's nothing. I'm not enjoying anything watching you. Like, you're not helping me. Two of us know you're not helping me. Like, I don't even know why I'm watching you. Why the hell am I watching you? You are disgusting. You are, and those things, like those words, I found out that the more I repeated them, the more I felt more disgusted watching it. The more it became much more disgusting to watch things like that. So I think I fell a few more times even after them. But then, because of those re-engineering of my mindset, it just became like little by little. Like today, there's nothing. I just see it as, why is a total waste of time? There's really nothing. It's no more attractive to me. You understand? So when you look at the habits that you engage at a daily basis, you find out that it is because there is something attracting you to that. You still feel is attractive. You still feel there is something there. Joel Osteen shared a testimony about a particular man who had been trying to quit smoking, and all of that. So he said by the time he listened to Joel Osteen's Osteen's message, the power of, I think it was the power of visualization, of one of those. I used to have those nights. I think I still have that message. Maybe if someone asks me after this message, I might just find it and share with them. Power of visualization. I think that's the particular message, or one of those messages, Joel Osteen, right? So he said that he heard Joel Osteen talk about the power of word, the power of speaking words. So, and he really wanted to break the habit of smoking. It was killing him, and he wanted to smoke it. He wanted to stop it. So at some point, then what he started doing is he said, okay, no problem. He'll still be smoking the cigar. As he's smoking it, if he takes one wrap, he'll blow it. When he blows it, he now speaks word. He'll say, I hate smoking. I really hate smoking. This is disgusting. This is killing me. It's killing my lungs. I hate the smoke. The smell of the smoke is disgusting. I hate it from the bottom of my heart. And he'll take another one. You blow again. I hate this. This is killing me. That was and do you know, he did this like 5 times. Like on the fact he wasn't even trying to stop the habit, but he was now forming a system. That's why you need to understand, the process of forming a system. He was forming a system that will begin to, that will stop supporting the habit. And those were the best he could do. He couldn't get the willpower to stop it, but those words he could get the willpower to even say it, and that was enough. So after, like he said, he will just, anytime he feels like smoking, he will still grab the smoke. As the pops one, I hate smoking. This is killing me. I will stop smoking. I hate this. I hate the smell of smoke. It's disgusting. I feel like vomiting. This is terrible. Take another one. Like after he did it like 5 times, one day he just unconscious, he just woke up. As he blew the smoke, he couldn't even stand the stench of the smoke anymore. He just couldn't stand it. He just couldn't stand the stench. He just started coughing. He coughed and coughed and coughed. He thought that was it, and he stopped. For that day. He tried again the next day. He couldn't stop coughing, and that was how the habit was gone, just like that. I mean, just like that. You understand? So at the center of every habit you have in your life, trust me, there is something you still find attractive. If you can find that thing you find attractive and kill it, quench it, and suppress it, press the neck of that thing until that attractiveness dies, you're free from that habit. You're totally free, like totally free like free as a bird, I tell you. So whatever habit you're trying to form, make it like really, really attractive. So God, we're almost approaching 8:45. So please, if you learned anything from what I said here, please go ahead and share with us. If you have something to say, you have something to add, please share with us, 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 share with us. No, somebody is raising their hand. No. If we do it that way, there will be a lot of questions at the end. You understand? And I actually want to just round up when we get to the end, okay? So there's somebody, I think Okoro Esther is raising her hand. So if Okoro Esther, if you're raising your hand, unmute your mic. Let's just hear what you have to say. Please, just in 1-2 minutes so we can move on to the next chapter. Yeah, good evening. Yeah. Okay, thank you. Okay, well. Yeah.
Going to be bored because there's nothing fun in my book. So it made me removing those apps, and then sometimes when I don't use some apps, I
Okay, wow, fantastic. Can everyone, sorry, I changed device. I switched to my to another phone. So I hope everyone can still hear me loud and clear. Is my voice okay? I don't know why I'm finding it difficult to put myself on full screen. Oh, let me see. Okay. Okay, I think I can go with this. So just in case, because I can't check with this other phone now. So if someone asks question, maybe someone needs to just call my attention back. Okay. So let's move ahead. So that's it for the second part of this second chapter of this book. Now the third law now says that you need to make it easy. You really need to make it easy. Now this is a part that I can tell you the truth has blessed my life, has really blessed my life. And this is a habit. This is something I began to practice even without knowing. Like I said, some of these things I practiced them like years ago. Some of them I started practicing them recently that I didn't know like they were actually laws. So this book was just filled with aha moments for me, moments where I'm like, oh wow, so this is what has actually been happening. So most times when I think we've all had moments where for me, I'm a very spiritual person, and I don't negotiate that. Okay, I don't try to say, pretend I'm not. Okay, so I'm a firm believer of prayer. I love what prayer can do. Okay, so sometimes, when we can really get so carried away, especially when I started, I moved full time into business, it was quite difficult for me to balance the two, because I'm a person, if I go out for something, I'm all out, nothing can, if I want something, I already have it. I have it because nothing can stop me from getting it. That's my life, right? So most times when, maybe if I have a project I'm doing, a project ongoing, it can really be distracting. It can take all my prayer time. Even when I'm praying, that's what I'm thinking about. I'm just thinking about that particular project until it's done. It's on my mind. That's the first thing I want to do. So sometimes you can just kick off your prayer time before you know it. Maybe you used to pray 2 hours every day. Before you know, you're now praying 1 hour every day. Before you know, you're praying 30 minutes. Before you know it, 10 minutes prayer is even hard now for you, for instance. So most times when I want to just maybe stir up a kind of maybe revival in my spirit. And most times what I do is I just tell myself that, okay, every single day I want to start by praying, let's say 10 minutes, just 10 minutes. I don't try to overstretch that. I don't try to, no matter how I feel, because there's sometimes, of course, I think some of us are really spiritual people, right? So there's some point where you pray and you just feel like to pray more. You don't feel like stopping again. So for me, if my plan is to do 10 minutes every day, I want it to be as easy as possible. I don't want to feel like it's stress if I want to do that prayer. You understand? So I tell myself 10 minutes, nothing more, nothing less. So no matter how I feel into that 10 minutes, once it's 10 minutes, I'm done. You understand? And what happens when you repeat this over and over again? This is something I've done over 100 times. You understand? This is something every single time I start noticing that, okay, I don't used to pray as long as I used to pray. I don't try to just go back from, let's say, okay, at the point, let's say it's now hard to even pray 5 minutes. I don't try to just move, boom, back to 2 hours every day. I don't. I just tell myself, okay, just 10 minutes. I start with 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 1 hour. Before you know it, you just start hitting that 1 hour consistently. It now becomes, you're at that level again. You understand? So this is something I know personally, which even mentions something like that in the book. That sometimes it mentions something called a 2-minute rule. That if you have a habit you want to be performing, just tell yourself that you do it for 2 minutes. Just 2 minutes. He said, for instance, if you want to start reading, you're somebody who doesn't like reading books. You don't kill yourself. Don't try to beat yourself up. Just tell yourself that 2 minutes is what you read every day. So that 2 minutes, open your book, or maybe just read 1 page. You understand? What you're doing is you're forming a habit. By the time you read 2 minutes every day for maybe 2 weeks, by the time next week you can increase it, okay, let's do 3 minutes. Before you know it, you're reading every day 30 minutes. Now, I learned something I began to do as of late. I do what I call blocking out of time. I learned it from for food. He says every single day he blocks out time to do the things that matter the most for him. Sometimes a lot of things can matter to me. Sometimes it can be reading, sometimes it can be like posting or writing something. I just tell myself, I bring out a timer on my phone. Let me show you what, something. I just bring out a timer on my phone. I can see, for instance, let me put a timer, 30 minutes. I hope everyone can see this. 30 minutes, I just start. So see this countdown. So as far as this countdown is still counting down, if I say I'm going to read, there is nothing that will distract me for this count until this countdown is finished. I just block out that time for reading, or maybe working on my laptop, or maybe trading, or whatever it is, whatever is important to me at that point. I just block out time for it. So it doesn't matter what happens around, whether somebody calls that, nothing can change as far as this timer is still reading. If it's 30 minutes I want to block out, as far as this timer is still reading, nothing can take my attention off. Nothing. For that 30 minutes it is reading I want to read, I must read. You understand? So if you're looking to build new habits in your life, this is something you need to actually practice. Learn to block out time. If it is important to you, block out time that you use to practice only the habit. Now your own might not be there. It can just be 5 minutes. It can be 5 minutes. For some of you, you have like really great talents. Like for instance, some of you are really good writers, but you're not writing anything. You can just block out 5 minutes. For these 5 minutes, you're doing nothing else but writing. For some of you, might just need to block out that 5 minutes to read your Bible. Block out 5 minutes. These 5 minutes, nothing will change my attention, nothing will catch my attention. 5 minutes, I'm going to read the Bible. 5 full minutes. You can even do it 2 minutes. But the main thing is that you are forming a habit. The main thing is that you are doing it every day. It is better that you read 10 minutes every single day than you read 1 hour once in a week. It is better that you're reading 10 minutes every single day than you read 1 hour for a single, once in a week. You understand? The power is in the consistency. It is in the habit. It is in the fact that if you can do this 5 minutes every day, if you can read 5 minutes every day, that means you can also write 5 minutes every day. That means you can also learn 5 minutes every day. What you are forming, you are not just looking, the outcome is not the goal, is who you are becoming while you are going towards that outcome. That is the main goal. Who you become. What that ultimately does for you is that it gives you self-respect. You begin to respect yourself because you have become a kind of person that says you will do something and you did it. There is no joy that is joyer than that. There is no joyer than that joy. That you have become a kind of person that says, this is what I want to do. And even you knows that beyond every reasonable doubt that even you cannot stop yourself from doing that thing. You understand? So our secretary is telling me that our time is fast spent. So please, if you have anything to say, add to this, please go ahead and let's move to the last chapter immediately, and let's begin to round up ASAP. So I can't see the chat, but if anybody is saying anything, please, secretary, be mindful of the chat. Let's know if somebody is raising their hand. At any point somebody raises their hand, please call my attention. Okay? Secretary, are you with us? Okay, fantastic. So, I want to move to the fourth law, and at any point someone raises their hand, please, let me know. Okay? Now, the fifth law is where he talked about make it satisfying. Okay? Make it satisfying. Every habit you want to build in your life, find a way to reward yourself when you finally begin to indulge in that habit. Okay? Find a way to make it rewarding. Make yourself happy anytime you say that you're going to do a particular thing and you did it. Reward yourself. You understand? Because that will encourage your brain to find opportunities to repeat that action again and again. Once you tell yourself or teach yourself teach yourself to enjoy or find satisfaction performing a particular habit. You understand? Most of the times, what I do most times, there's this thing I do. Any day I have like a day I can tell myself that I know that today I worked really hard. I reward myself at the end of the day. Either I go to a cinema, watch a movie, or maybe just feel free. I can watch on a normal day. I don't feel comfortable like watching movies like during the day, during daytime, like during work hours. I don't have any problem with. I'm not part of people that say we don't watch movies. I watch movies. You understand? I might not be able to watch it at everybody's pace. For instance, I can watch a single movie for like 7 days. Because I watch it when I want to sleep. You understand? So I can watch. My wife, gets tired of me every now and then. Like, we can start a movie, and if I count now, we have like 100 movies that we started together that I couldn't finish. You understand? Because once we start 5 minutes, 10 minutes into the movie, I've slept. Because for me, it's recreation. It should make me sleep. You understand? So I can watch one single movie for like 7 days. Watch 10 minutes, sleep off, go again, fast forward again to where I stop, watch another 5 minutes, sleep off. That's just me. That's how my relationship with Netflix has been. You understand? Even sometimes inside the cinema, I just sleep off. Okay? Because for me, it's leisure. So that's the way I actually like just rewarding myself. Anytime I do something, I say I'm going to do something and I stick to it and I do it, I reward myself. Your own reward can be anything. It can be buying yourself chocolate, taking yourself out, buying yourself new shoe, new car. I don't know what you want to buy, but buy something. You understand? Reward yourself for keeping that habit. You understand? So that's it for me. So you really need to, if you have a bad habit, you need to stop rewarding yourself anytime you perform that habit. Stop rewarding yourself. You understand? Find ways to not really punish yourself, but find ways to tell your brain, enforce into your brain the fact that this thing is wrong. We're not going to do it again. You understand? If not, your brain will feel like, okay, it was quite satisfying, let's try again tomorrow. You understand? It will bring cues, it will show you cues, help you to crave the same habit again and again. So you need to stop making your bad habits satisfying and find habits that will help your life, habits that will take you to the next level. Begin to make them satisfying to you. Okay? So that's it for the 4th chapter. Anyone raising their hand yet? Is anyone raising their hand yet, secretary? Okay, check the chats too. So I want to just quickly jump into the conclusion of the book. So at this point, please feel free to start asking questions. Okay, feel free to start asking questions. We have like 10 minutes to go. Immediately it's 9 o'clock. We'll be ending. We'll be leaving the chat by 9 o'clock. So if you have any question right away, please go ahead and ask your questions right now. Ask your questions. Ask all your questions. Type them on the chat. Okay. So he said, end of the book, that success is not a goal to reach or a finish line to cross. He said it is a system to improve, an endless process to refine. This was like really life-changing for me. Okay, success is not, because most times when people tell you that they are trying to become successful, inside their mind, what they mean by trying to become successful is that they will come to the point where you have like maybe one big house in Abuja, one big house in Lagos, you have a very big company, you have like 3 cars, four children, one beautiful wife. To them, it's a goal. They have something at their mind they want to achieve. It's the goal for them. You understand? But the real approach to success should be, what you're trying to build is to become a kind of person. You understand? When you pursue success, you don't pursue success because of the goal, but because of the person you become in pursuit of that goal. That's the ultimate success. That's the really ultimate success. When you listen to Elle Nightingale's The Secret of Success, this is a very beautiful this thing you should really go and listen to. It's somewhere on YouTube. Nightingale, EARL Nightingale, the Strangest Secrets. I think that's the name, the Strangest Secret. I've listened to it myself more than 100 times. It's anytime I just listen to it again, it's a blessing every single time. He said that success is the steady realization of a worthy goal. That success is not the man who has a lot of money, but the man who is steadily progressing towards what he says he wants to be and wants to be that. He's just taking steps every single day. He's taking a step closer to what he wants to be. He says that success is the baker who is baking and getting better in baking because he wants to bake. A success is the teacher who is teaching because he wants to teach, and every single day he gets better at teaching. So success is not a particular goal. It's the process. It's the process that is you should be more interested in becoming a particular kind of person, not achieving a particular thing on your journey to success. You understand? So, and it has always. Is that someone says something? Okay, I have a question. Okay, fantastic. Please let me go ahead. Please tell us the question. Yeah, please do. Yeah. I don't understand. He said the two feelings, disappointment. Okay. I get it. Well, the truth is this. The thing is this. At the tail end, or not at the tail end, at the foundation of every habit is your personality, is who you think you are, is who you are inside. I wrote here, this is something I even said I was going to share at the end. In the beginning, you form habits from outside in. But to break a habit, you break it from inside out. Let me say that again. To form a habit is formed outside in. But to break it, you break it inside out. For instance, someone who starts smoking doesn't start smoking because he believes he's a smoker. You understand? He starts from, let me test. He tests. By the time he does it again, he's taking an action on the outside. And before you know, he comes to a point where he now starts believing that he's a smoker. If somebody just smokes once, if you ask him whether he's a smoker, he won't say he's a smoker. He say, no, I don't smoke. But you smoked once, but you are not a smoker. But by the time he repeats that action, he begins to see himself as someone who is addicted to smoker. So if you ask him, do you smoke? He now says, I smoke. Why? Because that daily action repeatedly has now become his identity. You understand? Now, breaking that habit now starts from breaking the identity, from your identity first. That's your identity is the first thing you need to break. You need to break the fact that you are not a smoker. This is the action you are taking. That you are taking the action does not make you that particular thing. It makes you you are just somebody who is taking a particular action. So you need to start working on the identity first. The reason why people feel bad when they want to do a habit, perform a particular habit, and they don't get to achieve or perform that particular habit is because somewhere inside of them, their identity has not changed. They are trying to change the action, but they have not worked on changing the identity that is causing the action. So when they feel disappointed, when they feel bad for not performing or doing that particular thing that they find themselves doing, most times is because their identity has not changed. Because if your identity has really changed, even if you perform that bad action, you see yourself like somebody who is free, but somehow you fell into this particular action. It's a different thing. It's a different thing when you see it that way than when you see yourself like somebody who is a slave to his particular action and who cannot help himself but perform this particular action. So most times when people feel disappointment like that, it's just a sign and a signal that the identity has not changed. You understand? So your identity has to really change first. That's the first thing to change. If your identity changes, it becomes much more easy to stop performing that particular habit. It becomes much more easy to stop yourself from doing a particular thing that you say that you are not going to do. You understand? So your identity is the first thing. That's the first thing to change. You understand? So anytime you feel that disappointment, or you do something, you feel disappointment and you didn't do it, just know that your identity still hasn't changed. If it has truly changed, you would see yourself as somebody who has already overcome, but you just slipped back. So all you need to do is to restructure both the systems around you, your environment, to conform to this your new identity of this is what I say I want to do, and that is what I'm going to do. That is my kind of person. You understand that? For instance, let's say you say you're going to read book for 10, every single day. Let's say 30 minutes every single day, and today you did not read it. If your identity was I am a reader, and you did not read that particular day, number one, you will not feel bad. The only bad you will feel is that, okay, this is just one day that I didn't do this particular thing, of course. But on a normal day, this is my habit. This is something I do every single day. Tomorrow, the chances that you will repeat that particular action is less. This is something that people don't know. Most cigarette companies, in fact, I think one of the reasons why they are allowed, because if you look at a cigarette pack, they'll show you the good lungs, healthy lungs, and then cigarette smoking lungs and all of that. But unknown to them, that picture is actually reinforcing that particular habit, because there's something called learned helplessness. Sometimes when you see the worst that could happen, once the mind cannot challenge the worst that can happen, it conforms to it. So most times when smokers see smokers are liable to die young, and they don't have the willpower to say no to it, they feel like the worst is we die young. So it's actually reinforcing the habit. You understand? Unconsciously is reinforcing the habit. There's sometimes when, for instance, you maybe try doing something, you couldn't do it, tried again, you couldn't do it. Somehow you're like, get out. Anything that happens, let it happen. You understand? That's how the human mind works. That's how the human brain works. Once it cannot challenge a particular motive or a particular kind of mindset, it just conforms. That's how human beings are natural. That's where things like if you can't beat them, join them. That's where all these things comes from. You understand? So people, if they can't help it, they just let the worst happen. After all, we have crossed the line. You understand? So it takes a change in identity first to come to the point where you say you do something and you do it, and it's a different ball game, a different mindset, where you said you have become, or you have convinced yourself to become a particular kind of person that says something and does something, but on one particular day you did not do it. The way you approach it is actually different. You understand? For instance, and this is the last instance I'll give, and we'll round up here. For instance, okay, sorry ma, no vex ma. Please, let's take the next question. Let's take the next question, please. So I hope I was able to answer the first person that asked question. Yes. Okay. Okay, okay. If I understand this question, what you're asking is, how is it possible to break down my goals into little bits and chunks such that it becomes much more easier to do? I'm hoping that that's what the question is. Or I think probably, please repeat the question. Let me be sure it's the question before I start answering. Uh, okay, okay, okay. Okay, fantastic. Okay, now I understand the question. Now, yes, yes, you really need to focus more on the process that leads to the results you're looking for, more than you're focusing on the results. For instance, you're playing World Cup now. For instance, let's assume, okay, someone says, "Hey, Queen, is it okay?" And I think it's because your mic was unmuted, but it should be fine now. So let's assume now that Argentina is playing with Brazil, okay? Now, it is the scoreboard ultimately at the end of the day that tells us who won the match. It doesn't matter how much they dribble, Messi dribbles in the team, how many times he runs around with the ball and all of that. At the end of the day, how we know the winner is by looking at the scoreboard. Is when we look at the scoreboard, we can tell, okay, Argentina 2, Brazil 3, and we know the winner, right? But when they are playing the match, you don't see Messi always looking at the scoreboard, always focusing on everywhere he's running. He's just running, looking at the scoreboard. His eye is always on the scoreboard. You understand? What he's looking at is the result. If he's looking at the scoreboard, but ultimately he doesn't do that way. He focuses on the process. The process that leads to that result is the fact that he has to dribble, he has to give good passes, he has to score at the end of the day. You understand? So most times when you are too focused on the results, it can do two things to you. Number one, it can make you become disappointed, especially when because human beings, whether we like it or not, we like comparing ourselves unconsciously. Maybe you can go online, go on Facebook, go on Instagram, you see somebody who has the kind of result you are looking for. He even has that result at a younger age than you currently. It is very easy to become dissatisfied with what you're doing because your eyes is on the result. Because what you are seeing now is just the fact that on the scoreboard, this person has 3 and I have 1. But you are not seeing the process that person had to pass through to get to the point where he has 3 and you have 1. So you can become easily dissatisfied. That's one thing. Then number 2 thing that can happen to you when your eyes is always on the result is that you begin to lose focus. Let's assume again, if Messi is playing but his eyes is he's always looking up on his scoreboard, how will he know when someone passes the ball to him? You understand? How will he know when somebody gives him the pass to score a goal? How will he know when to dribble? Because his eyes is always on the result. So sometimes when we become too focused and our eyes is always on the result, we can lose focus on the main thing that can actually give us those results. You understand? So your eye at every point should be focused on the process. Leave more, just forget about, there's something called metrics. I don't know that I have time. I don't think, in fact, I don't have time to explain it. There's something called metrics. For instance, aside from trading, let me even use marketing as an instance. Aside from trading the forex market, I have digital products that I market, products that has to do with trading. You understand? Now, every single day, I don't know who will patronize my product. I don't know who will buy from me. But I know fully well that if I keep advertising every day, the chances that somebody would buy becomes higher. So my own is to every single day do my metrics every single day, talk about what I do. Every single day, I talk about what I do. I don't care who sees, I don't care who does not see. But you find out that cumulatively, because let me even use something. Recently, I decided to just slowly, move into real estate. And sometimes my friends that I know that have some properties to sell, I just market it on my status. This is not even up to 2 months I started doing that. And people now started reaching out to me to ask for properties to buy in Abuja. Do you have 1 hectare here? Do you have a 3-bedroom here? Do you have anybody that needs a house now reaches out to me, because I've been doing a matrix of posting about that particular thing every single day. So somewhere at the back of the people's mind who are seeing what I'm posting, they are feeling like, okay, this guy, he has something to do with real estate. So they now started reaching out to me, which is really exciting because I really want to go into real estate on the long run, right? So your own is to just do the metrics. If for instance you're somebody who is into marketing, your own is just market. Forget about whether people are seeing, just market. Just every single day, come there, say what you have to say, talk about your product, go and sleep if you want to sleep, or whatever it is you want to do. Every single day, just show up. Just keep doing the metrics. Before you know it, people just keep begin to attach you to a particular brand, a particular industry, a particular product. So anytime they look for that kind of product, you are the only person that comes to their mind. You understand? So just focus on the process that leads to the result. It's much more easier to get your result that way than putting all your eyes on the result. You understand? So your own is just do the metrics every day. Do the metrics every day. Do the metrics. Okay, so I hope this answers your question. Our time is fast spent. Our secretary is already giving me sign here. So thank you all for joining. Thank you everyone for being a part of tonight's meeting. So before we go, let me quickly we'll be having a master class next week. I already have something in mind to say it's not me that is going to be, I'll be inviting someone to speak, but however, I want to get our input, because the reason for this CARIS initiative is to help us grow. You understand? To help every one of us grow in different areas of our life. So please, everyone mute your mic. Ensure your mic is muted. Okay, Blessing says my question is answered. Thank you so much. Okay, you're very welcome. So what we hope to do here is to help everyone to grow, for every part of your life, every aspect of your life, to help you actually grow. So what I would love to say is this. If you have areas of your life that you actually want us to talk about, it can be anything. Growth is holistical. You understand? Spiritual growth is not enough. You need to grow in relationship. I've seen a lot of people who are spirit-filled. If they carry the microphone like this, everyone will be charged in 2 minutes. But they can't keep, at a simple relationship. I've seen a lot of people too who are really good relationship giants, but they are very poor spiritually. You understand? I've seen a lot of people that are also very spiritual, but their finances, like they can't even run a business. They can't run a barber shop. You understand? So growth is, you need to grow every aspect of your life. You need to grow. So I would like anyone, if there's any particular area of life you want us to discuss, put a master class on, please put it on the chat. Maybe we can do what's it called? We can just take a poll, you understand, and fix a master class. It will not always be me. I assure you that it will not always be me. I can invite people who know more, who are much more vast in a particular field, to come speak to us, inspire us, share with us, teach us. You understand? So please, on the chat, or even if you can't share it on publicly, you can do it. You can reach out to the secretary on WhatsApp, or you can reach out to me personally too, so we can fix master classes. We do it bi-weekly. I already told you guys the program will be running. We'll be having programs like this every two weeks. Okay, we do a master class, we do book review, we skip another week, do master class, skip another week, do week review, skip another week, master class, book review, like that. So it's once every two weeks. Okay, so please feel free to always invite your friends. Feel free to, this is like really a lot of value will be coming to us through this initiative. Okay, so I think any other question, if there's no question, please, if you learned anything on the chat, let's just give a shout out to encourage all of us. To encourage us, let's be sure if you got any form of value, please put on the chat. Let's know you got value, and we'll call it a night. Okay, so thank you all for coming around. Have a wonderful bless. So please leave your chat, leave your own comments, and then you can log out. So if you leave your comments, then you can log out. Okay. Thank you.